Okay. Thank you. Yes.
Court places justice. It's for accused 1 to 4. The defense is still the same.
Mr. Madlala.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yesterday we had a situation which was unwarranted, which is unwanted. Like you saw yesterday, we ended our day without the media inside the courtroom. Today we started at a meeting where we met, being the legal practitioners, myself, and representatives of the media. If you look around in the courtroom, you'll realize that it looks different than it was yesterday. That is how seriously we regard the issue. And our hope and trust is that this will not repeat itself. And I don't know why, as I address this, somebody decides to switch their cell phone on. Because that is not supposed to happen. I think in future, if that happens, whoever has a cell phone doing that should just excuse us. We don't want these interruptions here in court. Our belief is that we have set rules down that are sufficient for this case to proceed without hindrances and any semblance of intimidation. We are no longer going to allow photos to be taken left, right, and center. But there are people here from small media establishments whom we feel should be included because we are not exclusive in approach. I just felt I need to inform you that from the disturbances we had yesterday, and we are now going to proceed, and I remind you that you are still under oath.
Yes.
Usakhunjuzwa Nkosi yami ukuthi usephansi kwesifungo sizona kahle Nkosi yami.
Yebo kuyazwakala.
Oath confirm my lord.
Ngiyabonga futhi indlela bethu.
Again my lord, I'm thankful the way in which this matter was handled.
You're welcome. On behalf of everyone. Advocate Michelle here.
Yes, my lord. I have to pass this today. My lord, as we proceed further cross-examination, may I ask that the post-mortem be uploaded so long because I'll be referring to it shortly, my lord. May I also ask that the copy for the court be handed in if it's available, my lord. Post-mortem report conducted by Dr. Johannes. Yesterday we did not have sufficient copies, my lord.
Yes.
But before we go to that document, I have few questions to ask before, my lord. Thank you. Mr. Madlala, yesterday you testified as to how the shooting incident took place. You remember when we were in that area of the shooting incident?
Ngizolo ngizofakazi waqhaza ukuthi ke lokudubula kwenzeka kanjani ngesikhathi ke sichaza sikhuluma ngendaba lokudubula sakhumbula.
Yes, ngiyakhumbula.
Yes, I recall.
Can I just ask you a few questions? Maybe you have testified about that, but I need clarity on that.
Ngicela nje ukubuza imibuzo embalwa. Themba ukuthi lokho sowunikile ufakazi ngakho kodwa ke ngidinga ukuthi nje ngithole clarity ngakho lapho nalapho.
Okay, akunankinga.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. When the three people were struggling with the intruder who had a gun, and you were with the deceased and the second person next to the door, where was Longwe Twala?
Ngesikhathi labantu ababokuqala abathathu sisho umama laba abantu besifazane ngesikhathi bebusy nalo muntu ungene eqala lo wayephethe isibhamu wena unomufi lo usenzo nalo wesibili eqini komnyango lo ulongo ethwala bekakuphi?
Na bekangekho endlini.
He was not inside the house.
Okay, can you just take me?
Waphuma wabaleka ngithi.
He came out of the house running.
At what stage?
Uphuma baleka nini?
Ngesikhathi kungena lo muntu ongena ukuqala nesibhamu lo enza ama threat.
When the first intruder entered the house, the intruder with deadlocks.
Did he run before you or after you?
Uye wabaleka ngaphambi kwakho noma ngemva kwakho?
Uyena umuntu ophuma eqala endlini lo.
He's the first person to exit the house.
Is there anyone who followed him?
Uye walandela?
Ngaleso sikhathi uthi mekaphuma bekangekho umuntu umuntu omlandela eduze.
Okay. By the time when he exited, there was no one following him closely.
Okay. So, Longwe Twala, as soon as the intruder appeared with a gun, he ran out of the house.
Ulongwe Twala ngesikhathi lo mhlasela angena aphethe isibhamu uye waphuma gijima waphuma lapha endlini.
Yeah, usuke esofeni la ehleli khona waphusha lo muntu wayophuma ke ngaphandle.
Yes. He stood up from the sofa where he sat, and then he pushed this person off. He went outside.
And he was not shot.
Azange tujul.
Cha, akazange tujul.
No, he was not shot.
And then Mthokozisi Twala, was he also inside the house? Is that Mthokozisi Twala?
Umthokozisi Twala ngesikhathi lesibeka phakathi endlini.
Umthokozisi angimazi ukuthi uphume ngasiphi isikhathi because immediately makuqhuma isibhamu mina ngibale ngayo ekamereni so kokwenzeke la ekishini ngazi lo msali waphuma or wenza kanjani.
Mthokozisi Twala, I don't know at what time did he exit the house because immediately after a shot was fired, I ran into the bedroom, so I don't know what transpired back then inside the kitchen.
But when you left, when you were struggling with the deceased and the second person next to the door, and the three were struggling with the first person who was carrying, Mthokozisi Twala still inside the room? Inside the room?
Lalla ke mfowethu ngesikhathi laba besifazane bebhizi nalo uqala ungena ahlome ngesibhamu wena nomufi nibhizi nalo wesibili yena Mthokozisi Twala wayesesekhona phakathi lapha endlini.
Or you did not see?
Oh, cha noma zange umbone.
Angizange ngambona ngikhumbula ngikhumbuleka kuphi ngaleso sikhathi.
I did not see him. I don't recall where he was by that time.
Okay. And when then did you see Mthokozisi back in the house?
Uphinde wabona nini futhi yena ke Mthokozisi Twala abuyile endlini?
Ngalesikhathi sengifuna ukuvula ngithi sengizwa sekukhuluma into la endlini abanye bayakhala ngasikhathi sengifuna ukuvula la ngimbone ngaleso sikhathi sengivulela ngesipuni emnyango.
I again saw him when I was attempting to open the door from the bedroom. When I hear the people who were inside the house speaking, others were crying. By the time he was opening the door for me using a spoon.
Okay. Now let's then just revisit. You remember the diagram I showed you yesterday?
Uyayikhumbula le diagram engibonisona ngizolo?
Yeah, ngiyakhumbula.
Yes, I do recall it.
And at the time of the shooting incident, the only person who was outside the house, it was Longwe Twala.
Ngesikhathi sokudubula umuntu wayengaphandle ngesikhathi sokuye kuphela Longwe Twala.
Kuyena ngisho ukuthi umthuko nje angizange ngimbone ukuthi wayesephumile or engakaphumi mina ngizange nginaki but kwalonge uye phela wasukuma kuqala ngisho ukuthi uye wayesephumile.
Yes, about Longo I would say yes is the one because Mthokozisi Twala, I did not notice that during that time did he exit the house or he was still in, but yes, by that time it was only Longwe Twala who was outside.
When the shot was fired?
Ngesikhathi kudutshula.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Can you then also repeat for me here in terms of the photo, in terms of the post-mortem report? Can the diagram be depicted there, Mr. Sibande? Just the diagram only. Maybe, my lords, for the description of that is given in the diagram, it's contained in paragraph 4, my lord, of the post-mortem. The external appearances of the body, of the condition of the limbs.
Yes.
Mr. Tumelo, according to the doctor, in paragraph 4, you will just listen to what I'm saying. Yes. He says, the entry wound, it was situated over the right anterior chest wall, 1 centimeter to the right of the midley and 1 centimeter above the heel, is a 3 centimeter point 5 centimeter oval shape lacerated wound. The interpreter did not have the document. Paragraph 4.
Aspegu paragraph number 4, ne?
External appearances of the body
and conditions of the limbs. Nice. External appearance of the body. Yes, we got it.
Okay. Can you interpret it for him? The first line I've read in paragraph 2. Situated over the right.
Lake iyaqhaza ke ngenqeba leli elitholakala kuye umufi sizona kahle ne ukuthi ke lingapha ke ngapha ngaka right la ku interior la ngasesifubeni sakhe ku 1 cm uma uya ngaka right and then uma ubheka kulo line oya phakathi midline and then futhi ku 135 cm uma ubheka ngaphezulu kancane nje and then uyaqhaza futhi ukuthi lokho kugcina futhi kwenza ukuthi kube 3 cm times 1.5 cm i-oval shape into oyinjenge kweqanda nje, then inxeba lakhona lelo lala dujule khona uyakubona lapho. Yes, I do follow.
Let's continue also to the sentence which starts with the word on the same paragraph, my lord. The wound edges appeared seared, situated just below the skin, blackened, granular material consistent with gunshot residue are noted in the underlying soft tissue. In brackets, this wound is consistent with a contact bullet entrance wound.
Njengoba beqoqwa kizo la khulunywa ngale nxeba lokuthi ke uma kubheka eduze kuma edges wale nxeba lekubonakala ke ngaphansi kakuthi kungaphansi kwe-skin noma isikhumba sakhe, then kunokulokho okukhona okumnyama futhi okunjengama granules. Uyangizwisisa lokho kuhambisana nokudutshulwa kwesibhamu, lokho okuthiwa impuphu yakhona i-gun residue, uyangithola gunshot residue, and then kungaphansi kwaso lesikhumba lesi sakhe la adutshulwe khona, and then lokho kuhambisana nani nokuthi ke udutshulwe nge-contact blade ukuthi aseduze njengoba sichazile bizo.
Yeah, I guess.
Yes, it's understood.
Yeah. Then can you go back to the diagram?
Asibuke i-diagram ke
Sibanda.
asibheke lana.
Then you remember in your testimony is that the second person was standing at the door.
Uyakhumbula ukuthi efakazini bakho uthe umuntu wesibili bakami emnyango.
Yeah, ngicela ngala kumnyango ya.
Yes, next to the door.
And then it means he was behind the deceased. Is that correct?
Lokho usho ukuthi bayangemuva kwakhe umufi kuyiqiniso lokho.
Beka ngemuva or beka ngaphambi komufi.
Do you mean that he was behind the deceased or in front of the deceased?
Okay. You can just tell me, maybe I'm mixing the facts, but from your testimony is that that person was standing next to the door facing in-house.
Yes.
Kuye ngofakazi bakuthi lo muntu lo bakamela phela semnyango abheke ngaphakathi endlini.
Yes.
That's correct.
And then the deceased was facing that person facing the exit door.
Then umufi bekaqonda abheke ngakumuntu lo abheke nomnyango lo kuphuma.
Yes, ubebheke umnyango uphuma emva kwakhe bengaphambi kwayo umuntu wangena.
Yena umufi bengaphambi kwalomuntu.
Angisho bebebhekene kanje. So there's no other way ukuthi angaba ngemuva. Uzoba ngemuva kanjani with deceased?
They were facing each other. There's no way that he will be at the back or behind.
And then at the back of the deceased, it was you. It was yourself.
Ngemva kwakhe umufi benguwe.
No, mina ngithi bese seceleni kanje mangisuka ngizala ngigijima ngithi ngiyabaleka ngiyaphuma. Ibese ngiseceleni kwakho usenzo ngize ngikhona ukushaya noma bengingikhona ukumshaya ngisemva kwakho usenzo.
Isn't that, I mean, my intention was to exit the house running, so I was next to Senzo, the deceased, so I was not going to be able to beat the assailant if I'm behind him.
Okay. But then also, the deceased was shot whilst there was death struggling, whilst the deceased was holding the second person's hand, and you were hitting the second person.
Yes.
Then look to like umufi udutshule ngesikhathi ke kukhona lokuhlangahlangana ngesikhathi yena umufi ke abambe yena lo muntu onihlasela ambambe ngesandla then wena umshaye.
Yes.
That's correct.
And when the shot was fired, it went through, you remember yesterday, it went through from Senzo and it exited.
Uyakhumbula ukuthi izolo sitheni ngesikhathi akudutshulwa ke lenhlamvu ingene kuye uSenzo yasiphuma idlula.
Yeah, ngiyakhumbula.
Yes, I recall.
As a court prisoner, we don't need to interfere with the Madlala's friend's cross-examination, but the witness testified that he had a shot being fired. He never testified, my lord, that that is the shot that struck the deceased. I think, my lord, the counsel and the witness might be at cross purposes, but the witness has always said he had the first shot, and that's when he ran into the bedroom.
Yes.
My lord, I think yesterday I did explain, my lord, to the witness to say these are the findings by the doctor who conducted the post-mortem examination, my lord. And the doctor is not saying it's what the witness is saying. But I'm referring the witness in terms of the findings of the doctor, my lord, as he was directly involved in that position of the deceased when the shot was fired, my lord.
The point of the matter is counsel is laboring under the impression or perhaps understanding the witness to say that that first shot is the one that struck the deceased, whereas the witness is saying he had the first shot and he ran into the bedroom. I think that is the issue, my lord, that needs to be clarified at this stage.
If I may assist as well, I think counsel for the state is also misleading when he says the first shot. The witness never mentioned whether it's a first shot or what. The witness said a shot. Must be clear on that, Your Lordship.
Thank you, my lord. Mr. Madlala, when the shot was fired, okay, in terms of the findings that has been made by the doctor, is that the entry wound is at the front and it exited. My point is on this, is that the gunshot, when the bullet went throughout the body, it exited the deceased. Do you understand that?
Lala ke baba Madlala la sikhuluma ngemiphumela noma ama findings athola ngudokotela ne. Njengoba bonisa ku diagram ukuthi lelikhulu ngesikhathi lidutshulwa ke lingene ngapha ngaphambili la seliphuma kuye umufi liphuma ngasemuva. Uyakuzwisisa lokho?
Okay, ngiyakuzwa.
Yes, I do follow.
But the person who was standing behind the deceased was not injured.
Kodwa lo muntu bekeme ngasemuva kwakhe umufi azange alimale.
Understand mhlawumbe ukuthi akalimalanga kanjani.
I don't understand. Is he or she is not injured? In what way?
Because makwenzeka njengoba ngisho ukuthi makuqhuma isibhamu mina ngabaleka ngawo qashe ekamereni. Lethwa ngithi okunye kwenzeka la ngemva ngazi kwenzakalani.
As I said that, immediately when the shot was fired, I ran into the bedroom to hide myself. As to what happened after I left, I don't know.
And angibonanga ngaleso sikhathi ukuthi usenzo wadubuleka because angibonanga ukuthi inhlamvu yayingena umuntu la iqhuma emoyeni. Ngezwe nje uqhuma kwesibhamu. Ngabona after sengibuye nje ekamereni ukuthi usenzo ulimele.
And by the time when I ran off into the bedroom, I did not notice that Senzo was injured or shot at, because the only thing that I heard is just the shot was fired, then I ran to the bedroom. I then realized when I came back from the bedroom that he was injured.
I'm also referring to this because you were there. Maybe you can assist us. If you cannot, there is no problem with that. It's just what was found by the doctor that the bullet exited, and therefore I am saying to you, if it is true that there was an intruder behind Senzo, then the bullet should have hit that person who is the intruder.
Once again, we object to that, my lord. The question presupposes that one shot was fired, and we submit, my lord, that might confuse the witness. That is the first thing. And secondly, we submit, my lord, that questions regarding issues of forensic nature should be reserved for the pathologist who conducted the post-mortem or the ballistic expert, my lord. It's unfair to expect of a witness to comment on issues very technical as the entrance and exit do, my lord.
There you are.
My lord, I submit, my lord, with due respect that this line of cross-examination is crucial just for this witness, my lord, to respond where he can. If he cannot, there is no harm. I understand it's the findings made by the doctor, but I was just testing in line of what he has testified about regarding the position of the deceased, the second person who was standing with the deceased, and the witness himself when the shot was fired.
Remember, even the doctor might not be able to assist.
My lord.
So I think this requires somebody with ballistic insight.
Inside, my lord.
Yeah, I think that is what Mr. Baloy is raising.
Yes.
Because you are saying, I can hear what you are saying, whoever would have been standing behind Senzo should
Yes.
have been hit
By the bullet.
by the bullet upon exit from Senzo's body.
Yes, my lord.
But then I don't know whether it is for this witness to say whether there was no other possibility other than, that is the first, whether there was no other possibility than that person being hit by the bullet, number
Yes.
one. Number two, whether this bullet was, I think that's what he's saying, but I think that's beside the point, to say whether it is the only bullet, because I think whether it's the only bullet is besides the point, because Advocate Mshololo is talking about this bullet that entered the body and exited.
Yes, my lord.
Whether there were other bullets fired is besides the point.
Yes. Thank you, my lord. That is so. That is so. Thank you. My lord, if I can be allowed to ask just one question with the leave of the court. If it's overruled, it's overruled. The doctor's findings are that the entry wound was in front of the chest of the deceased.
Ungaphawula nokuthi uyakhona ke ngizokubuza nakumbuzo yokuthi ke udokotela noma ama findings kadokotela ke athi ke lenqeba ke lekule lingene ngapha ngaphambili la esifubeni.
Angazi lutho ngalokuthi la ngena kanjani, ngikuzwa nje manje ingena laphuma ngakuphi.
I don't know anything about the entrance of this bullet and also the exit. I'm just learning about it right here.
No, it's fine, I understand. But I'm just making reference to this. If you cannot comment, it's okay. Then the doctor, if the doctor says the deceased sustained entry wound in front, whilst the deceased was facing the door, it means the person who fired shot would have been in front of the deceased, not at the back.
As a please, once again, we reiterate our objection. These are technical issues beyond the knowledge of the witness. Firstly, the witness has said he wasn't, after a shot went off, he ran into the house. And secondly, my lord, as we have already indicated, these issues are of a technical nature and should be reserved for experts. And thirdly, my learned friend can take up those issues in argument, my lord, but we respectfully submit that it's unfair to put such questions of a technical nature to a witness.
Okay?
My lord, I do understand it's a technical, it's a scientific evidence that is contained here, and the doctor will still be called. If the witness cannot answer on that, I will accept it, my lord. But I was drawn to the attention of this by the line of evidence the witness has testified about regarding the position of the people at the time when the shot was fired. To say if, because the witness said the shot was fired by people who were behind the deceased, my lord. It means the intruder who had a gunshot with the 3 female persons were behind the deceased. That's the evidence of this witness, my lord. And then the doctor says the deceased sustained entry wound in front of his chest. That is why I was asking in line with what the witness said. What do you say to what the doctor
Would the witness know how a bullet would behave if it enters in the front under those circumstances?
No, thank you, my lord. I will withdraw.
I think that is what Mr. Balo is raising.
I
Because,
will.
if he gives you a certain answer and you ask further, I think you'll get stuck.
Thank you, my lord. I will rephrase. I just wanted to put it to the attention of the witness that to say, however, from what we have said, the doctor has found in contrary, and the doctor found that the entry wound was in front, not at the back, if it's true what we have testified about. But I will withdraw the question.
Okay.
How many shots were fired inside the house?
Kudutshuleka ngakhe phakathi lapha endlini.
Ngabe ngiqamba amanga uma ngithi ngiyazi udutshuleka ngakhe. Ngabe ngiqamba amanga uma ngithi ngabala ukuthi kwadutshuleka ngakhe.
I'll be lying if I'm saying that I know how many times the shots were fired.
Okay, did you hear one or more than once? Because there is one that you heard that
Yes.
made you to run away.
Yes.
So uzwe kudutshula kanye noma kudlula kanye ukuthi lokhu kudutshula ukanye ngikho kwenza ukuthi ubaleke.
It is one thing. Le shot mayisho ukuqala because yashaya ngezwe amandla bengathi avaleke. Lethu le ngibaleke khona ngayi kamereni. Okunye kwasala kwenzeka bese ngekho lapho bengishaya na uvalo ngaleso sikhathi.
That is why I'm saying that I did not count, because when the first shot rang, I mean, it hit so hard, even my ears were a bit somehow closed. That's why I ran back into the bedroom. As to what transpired after I left, I cannot tell.
When you entered inside the bedroom, did you have your cell phone with you?
Ngesikhathi ungena ebedroom bophethe cellphone yakho.
Yebo ngiphethe ngize ngayifaka ingubeni ngiyifihlile. Khona ingubo ezazika right mongena eminyango kulelo kamera. Ngafuhle ingubo ngayifaka ngaphansi lapha.
Yes, I had my cell phone with myself at that time. I even hid this cell phone underneath the blankets, because when you enter into the bedroom, on the right hand side there were blankets there, so just inserted the phone there, hiding it.
Why didn't you call the police to report that there is a robbery or there is shooting inside this house when you were inside the bedroom now?
Kungani ungafonela amaphoyisa ubatshele ukuthi phela kunerobbery kunokukhuthiswa lapha endlini ngesikhathi sokuphekathi ekamreni?
And you had closed the door at that time.
And ngesikhathi besovala isicaba.
Hey, angazi akufikanga lokho yabona makwenzeka into kuwena ku easy ma umuntu engenzeka ngaphambi kwakho ukhulume nje, but into mayisiyenzeka umqondo wakho angeke ucontrol ukuthi awenze ukuthi because into osukucabanga nje la ukuthi ngiyafa or kufanele ngithole indlela yokuphuma.
It did not cross my mind, and again it's easy for you to say something if the incident it just happened to somebody, it did not happen to you, but then if it happens directly to you, I mean your mind freezes. I mean you cannot think about doing such things. The only thing that you think about is survival, running away, or I'm dying.
Okay. And also Longo Twala ran out before and also did not call anyone, did not call the police to come and attend.
Nayo Longo Twala ke uyimani waphuma wabaleka ke azange abiza amaphoyisa ukuthi eze nawo lapha.
Ngicabanga ukuthi akaza wabiza because ambuza la time ukuthi mawuphuma uphumela ukuthi wathi beyofuna i-backup ne.
I think that he did not call the help of the police, because I inquired from him that when you exited, what was your intention? He said he was going to look for backup.
Okay. So eventually, what backup was he referring? Did you see any backup that came?
Ngiphi backup bekakhuluma ngayo yibona backup iza lapho wena?
Angazi ngibone mhlambe nokunye kusengayiphendulela yena because ngiyacabanga ukuthi usazoza na enkantolo.
I have never seen the backup, but I think on other aspects, he must come and answer for himself, because I believe that he's still going to come and testify before this court.
On that aspect. But there is no people who came to intervene after Longo Twala had ran out of the house.
Abekho abantu bayafika bangenelela ngemva kokuthi uLongo aphumile abaleka lapha endlini.
Cha abekho abuyana.
No.
And when you came out from the bedroom, where was Longo Twala by then?
Ngesikhathi uphuma lapha ekamereni bekakuphi yena uLongo ethola ngesikhathi leso?
Angibonanga.
I did not see him.
Okay, until when?
Kufikela nini?
When you were carrying out the deceased, was he there?
Ngesikhathi nikhipha umufi nimgugile bekakhona lapha?
Angibonanga bese kugcwele abanye abo nakhona bafana babesiza la. I think abakamakhelwane o.
No, I did not see him because there were other boys. I think neighbors' boys who were assisting us there.
Now, I'm going to ask you about few facts. I am not saying that they are coming from you. They are facts that are contained in Exhibit C, which is a document that is before this court. Do you understand that, Mr. Madlala?
Ngizokubuza ngamanye amaphuzu angithi aqhamuka kuwe kodwa ke lawo maphuzu aqhamuka kule nto kuthiwa i-exhibit number C noma ikhomba ubufakazi ekhona la enkantolo yangizwisisa. Akuthiwa la maphuzu aqhamuka emlomeni wakho kodwa ala ku-exhibit number C ne?
Ngiyakuzwa lokho. Angazi noma mhlawumbe angizwanga kahle izolo yini ukuthi masigcina la masibuya sobuya siqale ngani mhlawumbe sekhohliwe naye.
I do understand that, but however, yesterday when we stopped the proceedings, I mean, we said we're stopping yesterday, and then when we resume today, there's a certain point where we are going to start from. Maybe you've forgotten about that.
No, I haven't forgotten about that. We're still coming there. You're still going to get that opportunity, but just allow me to ask, to lead the questions.
Aska khohlwa ngalokho sisazofika lapho ngivumele ukuthi ngikubuze imibuzo nisho. No problem, you can proceed.
Okay. My lord, can you just refer the witness to Exhibit C, which is before this court? It was admitted as an exhibit. Mr. Madlala, I know you won't understand the language, maybe it will be foreign to you, but I'll try to explain. You understand?
Okay. Ngiyazi ukuthi ulimi ngeke uluzwisise luzobonakala ngathi ulimi olukhulu kodwa ngizazama ukuthi ke ngichazele.
When the case has been committed and the case has been reported, it is investigated by the South African Police Service. Do you understand that?
Uma icala lenzekile and then icala liyaphenywa uma seliripotiwe liphenye ngilaba bombutho wamaphoyisa wala ekhaya uyazwisisa?
Yes, ngiyakuzwa.
Yes, I do understand.
After the SAPS have done that, or whilst they are doing that, they take the docket to the department that is known as the Department of National Prosecuting Authority.
And mabaqedile ngoba saphe bathatha le docket balise lapha ke ku National Prosecuting Authority.
Do you understand this?
I understand.
I do understand.
And that office is the office that is vested with powers in terms of the Constitution to decide on who to be arrested and who not to be arrested based on the information that has been submitted by the police. Do you understand that?
And lelo phiko lo ngilo linikeza amandla kuya ngomgwaqo so ukuthi lithathe isinqumo ukuthi ke ngubani oboshwayo ngubani ongaboshwa kuya ngolwazi noma ingqukaqa abazithola emaphoyiseni yazwisisa kahle. Yes, I do understand.
And those people who are working there, they are usually referred to as prosecutors and state advocates.
Labantu abasebenza lapho ke babizwa ukuthi ngabachuchisi noma ama advocates lawa wombuso uyangizwisisa la.
Yes, ngiyazwakala.
Yes, it's understood.
And those people, they are the only one who read evidence, analyze and decide as to who should be charged in that case. Do you understand?
Yibo labantu laba abafunda lobufakazi baphinde babahlolisise futhi ke bathatha isinqumo sokuthi ngubani kumele aboshwe uyangizwisisa lapha.
Yes, ngiyazwakala.
Yes, I do understand.
So in this case, the Director of Public Prosecutions received a docket. Do you understand?
Manje ke la ulomqondisi walaba abachuchisi uye wathola idocket. Uyazwisisa lokho?
Yes, ngiyazwa.
Yes.
And from that information, there is a decision which is still pending. It has not been finalized.
Kuqhamuka lapho ke sikhona isinqumo kodwa esisalingisiwe asikafinaliziwe uyangizwisisa?
Yebo ngiyezwa.
I do follow.
And the decision that is still pending is that you must be charged.
And isinqumo esisalengisa ungaphindile.
We object here. How can a decision that is still pending say that someone must be charged? We object to that question.
I'm getting confused. Are you not usurping the role of the NDPP?
Sorry, my lord?
Are you not usurping the role of the NDPP? Are you saying that the NDPP has decided, or are you
Has
saying
not.
has not? But
Has not yet.
but you are telling him that the NDPP
Has decided.
must decide that you be charged.
No, my lord, my apologies if I said that, my lord. I meant to say there is a pending decision
Yeah.
about you to be arrested, but it has not been taken. It has not yet been finalized
Yeah.
for you to be arrested, Mr. Marshall.
As a court, please, my lord.
So is he able to answer
reiterate
it?
our objection.
Or maybe, my lord, can I just rephrase it? Not for you to be arrested. A decision whether you should be arrested or not has not been taken. Is that fair, my lord?
My lord,
No.
once again, a decision is pending. Can my learned friend perhaps just leave it at that? And we suggest that it means precisely that the decision will be taken at the end of the trial as to who.
That decision will
what
be
will
made by
happen.
the NDPP, not so.
Yes. So we cannot speculate at this stage, my lord.
My lord, can I also refer to the response from the NDPP dated, I think it's dated the 22nd of August, if it's not 26, my lord, but it's going to be shown, my lord. I just want to go to one paragraph of that letter. I think it was exhibit AAA1. Let me see. AAA1. My lord, it's AA in brackets 1. It was submitted to court.
Yes.
Can you just go into paragraph 2? Let's show paragraph 2 of that letter. Yes, it's the correct letter, just the second line. Yes. It says, this office, meaning now, the Director of Public Prosecutions here in Pretoria, is therefore mandated to make a decision in respect of Foslorus case 375/1/2019.
Asibuke la mfoko Madlala. Hayi. You have very nice to do. I've seen it.
Yeah. Has it been interpreted?
Ichaza ukuthi ke le office lona lokushusisa lenisenelikezwe leigulo lithatha isinqumo malana nelecala laseFoslorus case number 375/1/2019.
Yeah, something like ngingasho ukuthi
Just wait, let me read the whole letter
oh okay.
before you comment. Okay. The third line says, in light of the fact that the decision in Foslorus case 375/1/2019 depends on the credibility findings by the trial court in the current trial involving Foslorus case 636/10/2014, I have therefore decided that the decision in Foslorus case 375/1/2019 will be made at the conclusion of the current trial.
Mayiqhubeka le ncwadi ngofishazana nkosi yami ithi njengoba lelicala leyo onikeza ufakazi kilo la liphambi kwale nkundla le yamacala le ngamanye amagama isinqumo ngokuthwesa noma ungathwesi kwale qala leli umuntu ukuthi aboshwe noma ungaboshwa isinqumo sakho sizothathwa uma kuqedwa kukhulunywa leli qala liphambi kwale nkantolo. Ngiyamzwisisa.
Hayi inkingi.
No problem.
And it says the decision in this matter will depend on the credibility findings of this trial.
Ngamanye amagama ke isinqumo sokuthi ukhona ozathwesa icala noma ngeke athwesa icala ke kuzoya ke ngalesinqumo esizothathwa la ngokuthembeka kobufakazi obukhishiwe credibility kule qala lekukhulunywa ngalo manje.
Hayi kuyazwakala.
Understood?
And that includes the manner in which you, Mr. Madlala, testifies in this court.
Lokho kufaka phakathi ngendlela nawo unika ngakhona ubufakazi la enkantolo.
Ngiyakuzwa kuyazwakala inkinga nalapho futhi.
I do follow, there's no problem also in that.
And therefore, in other words, as you are testifying here, whilst there is a hanging decision, you will want by all ways to protect yourself from this hanging decision. Is that not so?
We object to that question. It's an unfair question. The issues that my learned friend has referred to has got nothing to do with this witness. He's here to tell his story. As to the credibility findings, that is what will be determined by this court at the end of the case. We suspect we request that that question be overruled now.
Are you not addressing him as if he's testifying under 304?
Under 375?
304. Section 304.
No, my lord.
Where somebody testifies and is told that if he tells the truth, that will be the end of the matter. If he doesn't, he may be charged.
You'll be charged 204, my lord.
Yeah, 204, sorry.
Yes. No, my lord, I know he's not 204, but I just wanted the witness to comment because this is an exhibit that is before this court, and his name is included in this document, my lord. I was raising this in line of those bases to say the reason maybe why he's testifying is like this, it's because of the hanging decision, my lord.
Mr. Madlala, are you testifying with an intent that your testimony should result in you not being charged?
Unikeza ufakazi ubheke ukuthi ke ufakazi bakho bizawugcina ngesinqumo sokuthi wena ke ungathwesa icala.
Ufakazi engimnikeza la akusikho lokho. If kuTumelo wrong naye uzoya ejele. Angekho umuntu engimprotecta at all.
The testimony that I'm giving here is not about that. If it's Tumelo that is wrong, he has to go to prison. So there's no one that I'm protecting.
Please.
Thank you, my lord. I will move on, my lord. And in the, sorry, Advocate Sivande, can you just go back a little bit to Exhibit C, page 9 of Exhibit C, my lord? Page 9 of Exhibit C, that's summary of substantial facts. Thank you.
The state objects to any reference to Exhibit C. We have Exhibit C in brackets 1 and Exhibit C in brackets 2, where the Director of Public Prosecutions in Johannesburg disavows Exhibit C, saying these were just the musings of a junior advocate. How can, in light thereof, my lord, questions then be asked in respect of Exhibit C? We object, my lord, to any questions that are based on Exhibit C in light of what the DPP Johannesburg has stated in Exhibit C1 and C2.
Your Lordship, we have a serious, if I might be allowed, Your Lordship,
I can't hear you.
Honorable Justice, we have a serious problem which affects the constitutional rights of the accused with regard to those letters from the DPP. Hence, our instructions are that either after this witness or before the witness finish, we make a proper application for review of these proceedings. Because these letters on their own exhibits, it affects the way the witnesses will testify. Basically, these letters are saying we put a they're putting the witnesses in the corner to say it's up to you whether you implicate yourself or not. If you don't implicate yourself, you walk free. And if you implicate yourself and this accused walk free on this matter, then you will be charged. Basically, what they are saying to the state is grasping the straws, Your Lordship. Hence, our instructions. I didn't want to delay these proceedings from yesterday. Our instructions as to make an application for a review. I here give notice to that effect that once this witness is finished testifying, or the court decide that this witness must stop testifying, this matter be stood down, then we make a proper application in another court for review of these proceedings, because there are a clear constitutional violation of the witness in the box who cannot testify freely because there's a chop hanging on all these witnesses, for that matter, Your Lordship, based on all these letters from the state. And these people who wrote these letters from the state doesn't say they're going to call them as witnesses. But now we have exhibits of that nature. They are coming before the court, before the Honorable Court, using the Honorable Court to fulfill their own goals. At the expense.
My problem, Mr. Tovan, and it has been the problem, all the time when the legal representative of accused number 5 is conducting cross-examination, the legal representative of accused number 1 to 4 intervenes, because it is not your opportunity now. It isn't.
If I do that, Lordship, I apologize, but I just want to highlight our instructions.
But there's still time, plenty time for you to do that. Because I mean, she's cross-examining. You know what cross-examining is?
Yes, Your Lordship.
She's cross-examining on a line. Now you are rising. She may lose track of her own line, and this has been happening from the beginning of this trial, and it is not right.
I apologize for that. I'm trying, Your Lordship, to show the impact of this letter. With due respect, the senior counsel dealt with the letter. Hence, I now rise up to raise our concerns. If I interrupted, I apologize for that, but I hereby need to give a notice. I will allow senior counsel to proceed. However, it must be noted that we intend to do that. As a court, please. I apologize for it.
But your criminal procedure lessons should have told you when to rise. She is on the podium cross-examining. What you are saying, there's nothing wrong with what you are saying. There's everything wrong with the timing at which you are saying that.
I apologize if I will repeat myself, Your Lordship.
Yeah, you apologize and do it.
No, the reason why I'm doing the reason I'm doing it, Your Lordship, is that the main reason why I rose up.
No, it's not your time. It is not your time. Allow her to use her time. When you are cross-examining, she never rose.
No, I don't have a problem with that. The reason is why I raise it, Your Lordship, because
no, don't raise it now. It's not your time. It is not your time. It is the opportunity for Advocate Mshololo to cross-examine. May you please allow her to do that.
As a court, please, I'll do that.
That's the court business, my lord. Thank you, my lord. My lord, in response to the objection raised by the state, my lord.
Yes.
My lord, I will repeat, this is the document that is before this court. There are other communications, responses, from the author or from the DPP regarding the status of this letter. And the court has not made a final ruling on this document. We are still going to argue on merits, my lord, as to which evidence should be accepted by this court and which evidence should not be accepted by this court. But at this stage, during trial, a defense cannot be prevented from conducting cross-examination, clarifying issues, facts that are contained on each and every document that is before court, my lord, especially when it is in relation to the witness who is testifying. It's not a new document that I'm introducing, my lord. It is before court. I understand the letters have been sent as like the one I've just read, but we are still going to make the submissions regarding the credibility of these letters. And
I hear what you're saying. But
yes, ma'am.
The only issue I have is whether this witness
Yes, my lord.
can testify on the contents of those letters, not having been the one who wrote those letters.
Yes, I agree.
This might be pointing us some direction, but my worry is when somebody sits in an office, probably in Joburg, and writes a letter, and we go to KwaZulu-Natal and pull somebody to come and answer on what is contained in those letters.
I agree with his lordship. That is true and that is correct. My lord, I am not asking about the whole content of the document, but it will be on a specific reference, which I think, my lord, the court will overrule, which I think this witness maybe can respond to that. Not the whole content, but it's just those few paragraphs. And I'm not saying the information was given by this witness, but it's the information that is contained in this document that is before this court about the witness, my lord. Not the whole content of the document, I understand, and I cannot do that because he is not the author, my lord. But there are some references regarding the witness who is testifying, of which I just need him or to respond. If he can respond, if he cannot respond, there is no problem also with that, my lord.
Mr. Madlala, can you respond?
Ngakwazi ukuphendula kule nkulumo lesona zangu umeli ukuthi uzobuza ngamaphuzu athile ile document noma le document lethu.
Ngingakwazi ukuphendula only if sesiqale ngalento besithe soqala ngayo ekseni.
No, Mr. Madlala. No, Mr. Madlala. Remember the defense is not bound to take any particular line in cross-examining. So forget about everything and concentrate on the question put to you. I'm saying somebody said, you heard me say, somebody sat in Joburg and wrote a letter, who is a member of the police services. Now you are being asked about the contents of those letters or that letter. Are you able to answer?
Yeah, ngizophendula ngibuzwa ngale docket le.
No, not the docket.
No, I docket.
The question that was read.
Okay. No, I can ngiphendule ngizophendula.
There's no problem in answering. I'll give an answer.
Oh, you didn't hear the answer, the question?
No,
Can you
maybe
repeat
the question may be repeated for me?
Thank you, my lord. In the on page 9, my lord, of Exhibit C,
yes.
paragraph 5. It says, accused number 1. Oh, sorry, my lord, can I just refrain from using accused number 1 because it will confuse the record. Let me just put the name.
Please, my Lord, can I just get an indication, has the court already made a ruling? Because if not, we still want to pursue the point further, the objection, my Lord, that we have raised. Can we allow, my Lord, to develop that objection further?
You are? Okay.
Yes. My Lord, we've indicated that Exhibit C has got no status at all. It will therefore be an exercise in lily-cuddling to spend any amount of time on that Exhibit C. We indicated at some point, my Lord, that in any case that serves before a court, there are two issues, my Lord, that usually need to be decided upon. The facts in dispute, as we mentioned, the facta probanda, and the facts that are used to determine those facts that are in dispute. They say facta probantia. Any cross-examination that doesn't help the court to resolve those two issues, my Lord, is irrelevant. We are therefore saying, my Lord, that any cross-examination based on Exhibit C is of no force and effect because Exhibit C has got no status. A witness cannot be cross-examined on something that has got no status. My Lord, that is the crux of our objection, and we request, my Lord, that we should perhaps not dwell any further on Exhibit C and rather move along, because as we mentioned, my Lord, that will be an utter waste of court's time, as Exhibit C has got no status at all. Thank you, my Lord.
My Lord, with due respect, cross-examination is not done because it will amount to a waste of a time, my Lord. But the value on the line of cross-examination that I'm asking this honorable court to allow me to do, it is because this exhibit is a document that is before this court. And this court still has to decide on it, my Lord.
But isn't this document, isn't there further indication that this document does not exist in reality? Because it is disowned by the very people that whom you say wrote it.
My Lord.
And my feeling is that, how should I put it? My feeling is that we are now trying to get into a review through this case, which would not be proper to do.
My Lord, I agree with His Lordship, but my view, my Lord, with due respect, is that this document is before court, and the state has responded to say the decision contained in this exhibit was taken by a junior. We're still going to address this court on that, my Lord, when we're addressing on merits. And then there's another exhibit, my Lord, above that, saying that a final decision has not yet been made, so it is still pending. And that letter makes reference to the findings of this trial, my Lord. Therefore, my Lord, that's why I submit with due respect to say, as a result of that the state has indicated that the final decision will be dependent on this, and the witness who is testifying is the person who has knowledge of the facts that I need to clarify with.
But then you put a pointed question to him to say, are you not testifying so as to avoid being prosecuted later? And he gave it. Now you want to go into the contents of a letter which, number one, he did not write, number two, around which the status of which is in contention.
My lord, yes, I agree the witness has responded, my lord.
Yes.
But the information that I was going to ask is not suggesting that he is still going to be arrested or is in line with what he has already responded. It's on something else, my lord.
Yeah, but that document is disowned. That's why I keep on saying it now strikes me that we are doing something within something. If the status of these documents is that crucial, then maybe you should go the right route of setting the record straight around that. Instead of us debating these documents on the basis that they may or may not be documents that can be ascribed to SABC. I think we need more than what is being said here, even more than what you are saying. And that being the case, to expect a lay person to express on them is even more unfair.
As the court pleases, my lord, I will move on, my lord. May I ask for the adjournment, my lord, in that regard?
Okay. Until what time?
It's 1:45, my lord. If we can resume, it's 1:45 now. If we can resume at 1:45, just take a 1 hour adjournment.
Does everyone agree? Because the other problem is we agree upon time, and when we come back here, not everyone is here.
Or maybe at 2. We can resume at 2, my lord.
Okay. Brother James?
So